This is Pedals and Effects Top 10 list for 2018. A year that we didn't get to kick it much.
Busy year. There's some pedals that we're going to talk about that we haven't even done videos for yet.
That happens though. That's happened before, but yeah. But the good thing is there's some pedals that I think both of us are going to talk about that we actually had on pedal boards that were out on tour with us that served us well.
For
right?
instance, the Earthquaker Aqueduct.
Yes.
We did a video on this guy. Vibrato pedal. I needed a weird sound. I was just like, this pedal board of 23 pedals is not weird enough, so I need something bizarre. And I threw this guy on, and this will probably irritate you, but I used the random setting. I know everyone's got their, because random is like, oh, no brainer, right? But I had a pretty cool thing going with my random setting that I used. I had the rate at 0, so it was the slowest rate that's like affecting the signal, but the depth dimed. So it was this really, really slow. Well, you saw us, so you probably heard it, where it would just, I'd be like soloing, and then it would just do all these weird dips and stuff. So I used the Aqueduct for a very non-vibrato, extreme vibrato setting.
And that was mainly what you used it for? Did you ever get like a traditional?
That's all I used it for.
Okay.
That's all I used it for.
Well, I used the Aqueduct. I didn't get to take it on tour with Manson, but I did use it at a Dr. Octagon show because I swapped it out from my vintage Boss VV2 vibrato. And so basically my setting was not dimed. My setting was the setting that I get on here. I get that sound on here. So yes, Earthquaker hooked us both up on tour.
Also, in the video we did for this, I talked about the use of the Aqueduct in Settlers of Catan.
Oh yeah,
dude. Yo.
Oh jeez.
Yo.
Nerding out.
I got the fucking Catan socks on right now.
I have just colorful socks on right now.
That's chill.
That, I don't know, that is kind of an aqueduct idea. Birds,
chill.
Aqueducts.
Rate just at 0, depth at 100%. Look at this. Love it.
Hey, of course, I love vibrato, and I love the Aqueduct. And you know what, man? This actually, right now, the sound I got sounds better than the fucking VV2. Here we go. Boom! Here is Dark World, Chase Bliss. First time I think Chase Bliss has made a top 10 list on pedals and effects. This, to me, is the best pedal he's ever made, and for what I am into. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I love the warp vinyl, but man, this shit is hard. And you know, unfortunately, Nick was on the road.
I was in Montreal when you got that.
Yeah, and so my friend Mason helped me do the video for this, and I mean, man, really is everything that they said. There's a collaboration. I know Keeley had input on this, a couple other dudes, but Joel at Chase Bliss, man, murder. Dude killed it. It's, you know, our video is really good because it breaks down how simple this stuff is. His pedals have always given me anxiety, but man, you know, working with Mason, totally got it, totally easy. Still haven't fucked with the dip switches, so all you nerds who love to tweak out, there's your tweak world right there. But yes, this, I'm gonna get some sound on there that you're gonna dig. Chase Bliss. Dude, I'm already in the dark world.
Yo, all right. I picked this up, the Source Audio True Spring Reverb, when I was in Boston. My guy Jeff from Source Audio came to the show and he's like, "Oh, I want you to check out this spring reverb pedal we have." And I was like, "All right, okay, spring reverb." They put out, the Ventress. The whole thing is okay. So Source Audio, they released the Ventress dual reverb engine pedal. That might have been 2 years ago. I don't remember if that was last year or 2 years ago. But it was awesome. It was really cool. But I don't, for whatever reason, it just kind of went under the radar for us or something. But I know the Ventress had. I mean, I love the Ventress now, and it has a true spring reverb engine in it. But having a digital pedal dedicated to a true spring reverb sound, when Jeff plugged this in for me, and it was in between sound checks or whatever. It's like, okay, let me check this thing out, and my mind was blown that. Well, think about getting a spring reverb sound digitally. It doesn't make sense, and the way it reacts to your playing, and you get the thwack sounds that you'd get hitting the top of an amp or whatever. And I was just like, oh, that, I don't know, maybe something about the Ventress having so many reverb options. It was like, oh yeah, this is a crazy ass reverb pedal. There's a million different things you could do with it. But something about having this just a focused version of that sound was insane. And there's tons of under the hood things you can do with this. But in 2019, we'll do a proper video where we go through all of that. But True Spring Reverb, crazy.
I'd be stoked. Aw, damn. All right. I'm going to piss off a lot of people because I don't give up. And so, MXR, vintage bass, octave, throw away your OC2s, throw away all your clones. This thing is hella tight. So, yes, vintage meaning it's you can get that octave OC2 sound. You dime the second octave, turn off the first octave, get out your mix, and just it's just the second octave. There's that synthetic weird low octave sound,
which will get played out in 2019.
Yes.
By this time next year, we're going to be complaining about the dimed sub-octave sound, right?
Well, I mean, it's already so blown out. I think every fusion bass player owns every OC2 in existence because of guys like Tim LaFay, and it's just crazy. But those things are big. Look at how tiny this thing is. This sucker is crazy. And the one thing that this has that those pedals don't have, this headroom on this is badass. They really focused on that. Some kind of shit of even though you're plugging in 19 volt, you get 18 volt headroom. I don't know. I don't understand that shit, but that's the shit that they claim. What's really cool on this. So, yes, you can get other sounds here. I'll show you my Big Sur setting on the OC2. Basically, this is my setting that I use on Big Sur, which I'll play. But what's cool is sometimes some amps that I would use, depending on whether it's my amp or a rental or whatever, shit doesn't sound quite right. Whatever that is, maybe the speakers, maybe the head, but they did a mid-range boost on this dude that you can tweak also by opening up inside or whatever. But you tweak and you put that sucker on, and then there's that sound. It gives you flexibility that an OC2 doesn't give. Don't think about going and buying those expensive ones that are on Reverb or whatever, and you don't have to go get one of those clones. MXR is in every store, and it's hella cheap, and it's hella small, and boom. Woo! Imagine this. This is just all the second octave, nothing else. Oh wait, how does this track lower? All right, then, here, what about bringing in a little bit of the second octave. I mean, the first octave, I mean. All right, now watch. I'm going to bring direct signal in. Now I'm going to crank up more the first octave. And like, oh, got a little muddy. So then bring in the mid-range boost. Magic.
All right, the Ranger Effects Reverb X. If you'll recall, we did a video on this guy, and this is the one and only time a pedal manufacturer has come and said, hey, Nick, I liked what you were doing with this other pedal, and I incorporated that idea into this guy. And that was like the most humbling, coolest thing ever.
Respect.
Dude, ultimate respect. This thing is awesome, and I'm so happy that it exists.
I love it too. Earthquaker comes up again. Damn. Westwood. Oh, but why don't you tell a little about this version?
This is the Westwood Transparent Overdrive that was like their first kind of dive into that world. And this is the Twin Peaks, the special Twin Peaks version. Feel me? Right? Rare. I don't know how many of these they made with this paint job on it, but it sounds awesome on guitar.
Yes.
Transparent Overdrive.
So my deal with this is when I was corresponding with Jamie and Earthquaker, I was like, yo, man, this dude with bass. And he goes, yes. He goes, I think it rules on bass, maybe even more on guitar than guitar. Maybe he didn't say that. I don't know. I think he did. But anyway, I could look at an email and find out. But yes, this thing, just straight up, easy to understand. Get your bass growling. Westwood.
Black Lodge Westwood. Transparent Overdrive, just chords, big chords. Look. I mean, I said big chords.
Boom!
All right. Boss, Wazacraft, Dimension C, just like really, really basic chorus that's not a chorus. Remember we talked about that. Just with these hilarious buttons. I love buttons. Anything that has like, cool switches or buttons on it is just my vibe. Again, we did the video on this with all the craziness that went into this and like how what a bizarre thing to reissue. Maybe I wonder if there is an email chain somewhere at Boss floating around about, since they're going out on this now, are they going to do the slow gear next?
Woo.
That would be crazy, but I just thought this was a really, really cool addition to the Waza world. So,
I'm
very
into
cool.
Dude, straight up P sound with Dimension C, step into the 80s. All right, you knew this was going to make the list because we even said in the video that it was going to make the list. The Enzo Maris, man, dude, hours and hours of creativity that went into designing this pedal, and the hours and hours of creativity that it gives me. It's hell yes, it deserves to be on this list. I mean, I'm in awe of what they do, and I am in awe of this pedal, man. It lifts shit. I can't imagine if you play my instrument bass that you don't have this pedal. You get this fucking pedal, man.
It would be really strange to have, for anyone that is into like the effect world, to be writing up their 2018 top 10 and not have that on there. Even if you don't own one, you should have that on your top 10 list. And also, I would like to add that Maris's little switcher, their little preset switch, is crucial with this thing. And I don't know if I can't remember if we had the preset switch when we did the video.
I don't think we did.
But it's so crucial to like have, I mean, with any Maris pedal really, but when we got our hands on these, I was like, oh, yes, this is so crucial because there's so many different sounds in this thing, and you want to be able to access all those sounds, right? Like, oh, you want these crazy square wave fucked up sounding things, but then you also want these pretty things and blah blah blah. Well, how are you gonna like remember with your, you'd have to like have a notebook full of like settings to recall all that stuff. So having this guy is kind of crucial with that. And I tell you, I used it a lot this year, and I love it. It's crazy what you're saying. It's just like, it's endless creativity, and there's a lot.
And can you believe, like, I rocked this with Manson, and it's in the Premier Guitar giveaway that we're involved with, and you could possibly win this. Nick and I both had it on our boards. And the other thing that I have to say that is incredibly exciting in this with this pedal is using the expression pedal, either with the filter. Bass players use that with the octave, so you can go down or up. But like, man, they think of everything at this company, and this dude deserves to be on this list. Yo, see the little green thing, Nick, from Glow in the Dark?
Why do you need that?
Because when fucking you're on a smoked out stage, bruh, like you can't see it. Like, so that's my setting that I use on this tour all year. Here we go. Boom.
Don't be aping my shit. These are my fucking tour sounds right now.
Do it. You fuck with synth sounds.
Sorry.
Ah, hey, hold up. Was that really the sounds you get on tour?
Don't worry about it.
Is that really a pedal that they're giving away on the Premier Guitar giveaway that we're doing with them?
That's what I hear. Well, if we're talking other like no-brainer things that should go on your list, last but certainly not least, the Red Panda Tensor. Like, we'd been hearing about this thing for a long time. I mean, like, how long was Kurt working on this?
Man, a couple of years, at least 3 years, I'd say.
Really, really long time. And, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. This thing's insane. Delay, tape stop, pitch, random, looping, all kinds of crazy shit. Not to mention, if you're kind of hip to the Red Panda world, Kurt just put out his own little preset pedal that goes with this guy that has a whole bunch of different settings that can access DL4 like looping, expression things, on-off switches, all within this four button kind of box. So we'll get into that this year. But the Tensor was just insane. I used the shit out of this. I'm sure it probably just about any like insane obnoxious sound that was coming out of my guitar amp this year was most likely from this pedal. So the Red Panda Tensor.
Yeah, I mean, if you can believe it, I had that on my Manson board, and same thing. You can win it in the Premier Guitar giveaway.
Crazy.
But that thing was just like it would surprise the band. Like I'd hit shit on it, and they were just like, "How are you doing that?" And it's like, yeah, you know, I just know that you can blow people's minds rocking the Tensor.
Absolutely, one of the leaders of the effect world right now.
Absolutely,
Fire.
And hey, he's got fire coming with the new version of the Particle. So just Red Panda keeps firing at us. Hey Nick, check this out. More glow in the dark, which means you can see this in the smoky stage.
I don't fuck with the smoky stage. I tell the sound guy no. I say no smoke ever, no fog.
Well, that's cool. It's not my band, so I play in the smoky stage. And then, so anyway, this is my setting. So when they asked me, hey, you know, just get weird ass sounds, I was like, well then fuck, weird ass sounds requires fucking rando. So I actually do fuck with rando. I think the thing about the Moleko Downer is I probably Instagrammed about this pedal more than any pedal this year. I mean, I am so in love with this, man, with bass and just the octave down, the way it tracks, the grit of it, you know, it's just so ballsy and musical. Same thing is dope with the expression pedals. You can fuck with the filter. But man, they sent me it and they just didn't even tell me, like, hey, we're sending you a couple pedals. I plugged this in and instantly I was like, it's going to make my top 10. It did. I mean, I've taken it to sessions and watched dudes after they heard it buy it right there on their phone, hit, you know, reverb, and they were like, I'm buying a Downer as well. And that's because these dudes nailed this pedal. So again, you'll hear how grit and grimy this sucker is. And I mean, imagine on drums, because Moleko's so into the synth world and the modular system shit. Like, I'm sure synth dudes are hip to this, but you know, y'all on bass and guitar, y'all need to rock this Downer. The Downer. Imagine doing that with the expression pedal.
So, 2019, what's going to happen? 2018 set the bar pretty high for like awesome
Damn,
stuff.
yes.
So, what do you guys have for this year? Better like get moving, right?
Up the game. I mean, I think we have a couple of dudes that we know are going to come through with some stuff. I think Tom Cram, formerly of Digitech, he's got a company that he's firing up. I think we might see some stuff from that.
I know there's some Source Audio stuff cooking.
Yeah, you have the inside right now on that.
You're
in their lane.
Yeah. I like to scoot into different lanes.
Yeah,
see what's
apparently.
doing. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other stuff.
Well, I think that a company that I'm aware of right now that that took some time for me to really get on. Beatronics, I like what they do. I bet they come out with some stuff that's got fire.
Yeah, Beatronics has a lot of hype.
Ranger,
who knows what that dude's doing? That guy's like a weirdo scientist in his lab making the coolest sounds.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else we could anticipate.
I mean,
I got my ear to the ground. You know what I
did.
mean?
You're always on those forums and you're letting me know. You're keeping the old man hip.
Yeah, well, I mean, always expect something interesting from Earthquaker, all the usual suspects. Actually, it'll be really interesting to see if Maris follows up. I wonder if they could get something out this year or maybe it might be next year. But I'm sure they're like cooking up something right now.
Where could they go, too?
Dude.
Like they did delay, reverb, big crushing, and synth pedal.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm tripping.
That's exciting.
Right now.
That's an exciting prospect.
I mean, and then, like the old standards, I always think that like somebody like MXR always has something that I really dig. And, the big companies are in there, man. Like Ibanez, they had the Tube Screamer this year. I think that, they have designers there that are ready to come with some stuff. And Boss always has shit.
Dwarfcraft, Ben
Yes.
has this kid working for him now who's like
Oh, shit.
computer nut that's doing all this crazy stuff and programming and whatever, and like that he's got really cool things happening.
And then I haven't done a video yet for this, but I mean, this dude has been spinning a lot of excitement in these stores. I was at Perfect Circuit and the dudes who work there were claiming this is fire. I messed with it a little, but man, again, when you see something that is this involved, you have to really dedicate some time to learning it. But this is the Prawlings, and this is by I think it's Glugo. How do you say that?
I never even heard of it.
Yes, but
I don't even know what that is. What kind of pedal is that?
I mean, it's got filter.
Are we doing a video on it right now or something?
No, but we're gonna.